Previously on Project Retro Rally.
I will be driving this car in the AvD-Histo-Monte.
We are going to be turning this into a classic rally car.
And then you can see how much work there is left to do. Those 1,000 layers of non-standard rust proofing have also been removed. And now it's time to start Heinrich up. Unfortunately, Heinrich is refusing to start at the moment. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Build, featuring Heinrich, the magnificent Mercedes-Benz 280S. This week we're going to be doing a number of things, including electrics, new wheels and tyres. I'm going to show you the rust repair because that's awesome. But before any of that, we need to get the engine sorted because if you remember, things didn't go according to plan. Well, this is I was going to say this is actually a lot better than it was, but yeah, still having starting issues. So we had three problems. One with the distributor, the condensator here was broken, the wire here wasn't working. Then we had another issue with a wire over here that wasn't seating properly, or it wasn't doing its job effectively. And then we had another wire that wasn't, I think, properly screwed in, or so there was an issue with the bolt there. So yeah, quite minor things, but as you saw, they actually made Heinrich not run very well at all. So everything's been sorted, everything's been changed. The next thing for us to do is to adjust the timing. So Karl-Heinz is here with a feeler gauge again. The difference between this arm and this contact patch needs to be approximately 0.35. Make small adjustments, make sure that the feeler gauge is in there happy, and then tighten up the screw again. Let's start Heinrich, and it should run quite nicely. If you've got an old school car, then you'll know all about feeler gauges. They're very useful in life.
Starte mal bitte. 52. Okay, good.
So that reading should be 45 and it's about 52. So we're not quite there yet. I think a little bit more adjustments.
With a couple of small adjustments, Heinrich is tested again.
Starte mal nochmal bitte. Gut.
45,2, das geht.
Yes, geht.
There we go, 45.2. So we have the timing sorted.
The distributor cap is then installed and the inline 6 brought to life for the first time.
Sauber. Gut gemacht. Lovely. That is a really smooth sounding 6-cylinder engine. So Heinrich is running really smoothly. Good job, old man.
And now it's time to adjust the carburetors.
So these are measuring airflow. This carb runs 3 cylinders and this also controls 3 cylinders. So he's just trying to get them equal and happy.
With a few turns of the screwdriver, the 6 cylinders idle is brought down slightly and the carbs balanced.
On the machine here, we're looking for a figure of up to 3.5, and this is percent volume of CO2. So we need to make sure that Heinrich isn't spewing out too many CO2s. That number has now come down to 2.5. He's getting there, you know, he's feeling his way in. So we're going to adjust the idle a little bit. It's just a little bit low at the moment.
Endmäßig hochgehen.
Ja.
Ja?
Gut gemacht, Karl-Heinz.
Du hast es gut gemacht.
Sounding good. Happy, happy. Sweet. Happy engine. Glad we got that fixed nice and quickly. So with Heinrich's straight 6 sounding awesome, what we need to do now is to change the oil because I don't know how long it's been in here. We're going to do that first, then we're going to change the oil filter, then we're going to do the fuel filter, and then we're going to have a very, very happy Heinrich. So we're going to pull this over. Darf ich? My glamorous assistant.
Then it's a case of out with the old, in with the new.
Right, so the old oil has been taken out. We have a new fuel filter, we have a new oil filter, and now Karl-Heinz is preparing the lovely new oil for Heinrich. Was für Öl haben wir da?
20 W50.
20 W50. That's not an oil I've ever put into a car. It's always 540 that I'm used to, but 2050.
With Heinrich running sweet as a nut, it's time to check out the weatherproofing after all the old gunk had been removed.
Now everything has been done, everything is new, everything looks awesome. The biggest change has actually been to the wheel wells. I can't quite reach, but up there were big rust holes and now it's all been done. Now everything literally looks like it's just rolled out of the factory. Everything's been painted. What hasn't been cut out and welded has been sandblasted and then painted over. If we come this way, the same on the other side as well, the wheel well is looking magnifique. You can literally eat your currywurst off it. The rest of this is all in great condition. Oh, it feels so good. And then if we go to the sills here, if you remember the sill plates, they were also looking in a little bit bad shape. So they've all been sandblasted, repainted. So everything underneath Heinrich is now incredible, pretty much factory fresh. All that's left to do is for me to weld this brace in here, because if you stay there, this is the old brace, and as you can see, that has had its day in the sun. Bist du bereit?
Ich bin bereit.
Yeah, he's excited. He's excited to see what I've got. So, shall I start here?
So ladies and gentlemen, get ready for a lesson in how to weld like a pro.
That kind of went everywhere.
Did I say pro? I meant proper amateur. But I'm a quick learner.
Und?
Gut.
Gut?
Nächste hinter.
Oh.
After the brace is tacked in place, the welds are ground smooth, ready for paint.
Right, so with that support bracket now expertly welded in, Heinrich is now on the ground and we're now going to be working on the front of the car. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be swapping out Heinrich's original spotlights, which are fairly small, for these big bad boys. Interestingly, they're exactly the same that you would find on the Red Pig, so we're one step closer again to the Red Pig, which is awesome. Marcel, you've also been busy. What have you been doing?
Ja, ich habe uns einen neuen Kennzeichenhalter gebastelt. Da wir die Originalstoßstange abgebaut haben, haben wir keine Kennzeichenhalterung mehr. Und ja, da habe ich uns das nette kleine schwarze Ding gebaut.
Ready?
Ja.
See you next week. No, not yet. Okay, let's do it. Karl-Heinz, willst du versuchen? Let's try these out. There you go. I had no doubt in my mind that these wouldn't work. And as you can see, they're bright. They're pretty much shining a hole through the garage. So yeah, it should be really good for the rally. We'll be able to see in the dark. Job done. Let's move on.
Now all that's left is to mount the number plate.
Perfect?
Perfekt.
Gut gemacht.
Front done, let's turn our attention to a couple of rally essentials.
We are going to be installing this rev counter because Heinrich currently has a clock, which we don't need. And then we are going to be installing this rally computer, which will give us our average speed.
Now I'm no expert when it comes to electrics, so Marcel cracks on with the wiring.
Right, so the first thing that Marcel has done is attach a wire to the ignition coil, which is then going to give us a signal to the rev counter. So now let's move on to the interior. So the next step is for Marcel to wire up a cable to a power source, which will then power our rev counter.
While Marcel continues with the install, I joined Karl-Heinz to get a new set of tyres put on Heinrich's rally wheels. Back in the garage, the rev counter is fitted and tested.
The rev counter has now been expertly put in place. We also have the timing gear, which is, as you can see, up and running. All that's left for us to do now is to put on the new wheels, and then Heinrich is done, bar some stickers. All that's left to do as well is just to start him up and just enjoy some straight 6-cylinder goodness. Oh! Sounding good. Let's get those wheels on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the time has now come to say that we have finished with Heinrich. The build is officially done, bar some stickers. Everything is period correct, which means that we get to keep the H for historic on the number plate. We've got period correct spotlights. The seats, the wheels are also from a W126 Mercedes-Benz, which is over 30 years old. So all that's left to do is for Karl-Heinz and I to take our seats, go testing. So I think the last word needs to go to the big man himself. So Karl-Heinz.
See you next week.
See you next week. Bye. Bye. Mach weiter.
Gut.
Nee, weiter.
Nein.
Doch.
Nein.
Jetzt verarschst du mich auch mit, gell?
Nee. Wir müssen weiter. To subscribe, click here, and to watch another video, click here.